Hey, it's okay to let my kids play on applications that I download from places like the Google Store because the Children's Online Protection Privacy Act will protect them, right? Wrong. I'm Woody Huffines. I'm the Nerds to Go in McKinney, Texas, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. A security research firm just came out and found that of the top 500 children's games on the Google Play Store, 20%, a little over 20%, had violations of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Now, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act was a federal law that was in place to make sure that companies couldn't collect data on children. They couldn't collect privacy information on children. So if an application or a website or whatever is supposed to be for children and is advertised as being for children, there ought to be a way for you to opt out of data collection, for the parents to look at what kind of data is getting collected for children under 14. There's a number of protections that are in place in the COPPA. It's called COPPA, the COPPA Act, that keeps them companies from collecting data from children. But the security researchers found that 20% of the top 500 kids games on the Google Play Store violated one provision or another of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Some of them use third-party tracking, so they tracked the kids' process and what they were playing online so that they could advertise to them. Most of these games, especially if they're free, come with advertisements in the game. And remember, if something is free on the internet, that makes you the product. They're trying to steal your privacy information, and this is particularly true of these applications that are collecting information about kids and then advertising to kids. And kids are a captured market. I remember when I was a kid, you'd watch Saturday morning cartoons, and then they were all about sugary cereals and stuff that we weren't supposed to be eating, and that's all the ads were Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms. Magically delicious. They're doing the same thing with kids games that are downloaded from app stores for tablets or phones especially. Some of these collection mechanisms are third-party collection. So the application developers saying, no, we're not collecting any data, but they're collecting data on the behalf of a third party. They use a third party to collect the data and then market to the kids through the third-party app. Another big problem that they found is a lot of the games didn't have a way for the parent to go in and look at the data that was getting collected and approve or disapprove of that data, which is one of the steps of the COPPA law so that you can see what kind of data is getting collected. The other thing that was interesting is all kids games are supposed to be labeled as kid games. If it's targeted for children under 14, it is classified in the Google App Store as a kids app. About 5% of the games they found problems with went through the law. The laws, as I said, are supposed to be labeled as a kids game, and they said they weren't a kids game. So they didn't have to follow the act, even though the name of the game was Toddlers This or Kids That or something else that was directly targeted to kids. Another interesting twist to this story is Google has a program on the Play Store that's called the Teacher Approved Program app, or the Teacher Approved Program stamp of approval, where teachers go in and review the programs, and they review them for age appropriateness and is it engaging to a child and is it appropriate to a child. So you might think that if you found one that was a teacher approved app that you were getting the okey doke on the privacy protections, and that's not the case. Although the game may be designed well for children and be age appropriate for children, it still may be collecting data on your children. So spend some time monitoring the applications that you download for your kids, because Lord knows every time I go to a restaurant I'm amazed that there's two parents sitting there and a kid on a tablet or a phone, and sometimes the whole family's doing that, which is a whole nother social issue that I won't address here. But if you're going to download applications that are specifically kids applications for your kids to play, bear in mind that you need to pay attention to the Privacy Protection Act and look at the information in the game that the game might be connecting. And if you can't look and see what privacy information they're connecting to that phone or connecting to that kid that's playing the game, you might want to not use that game to entertain your child, because they can be collecting and advertising to that kid in ways that you don't want it done. I'm Woody Huffines. I'm the Nerds to Go in McKinney, Texas, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. If you have any questions about your kids' apps or the Google Play Store, or, well, just about anything else computer-wise, give us a call. We'll try to help you out. If you find this information exciting or useful or fun, or decide that a friend of yours needs it, hit the share button and send them a link, or mash the like button, hit the comments, subscribe, and we'll talk again soon.